Brandon Stallnaker and Scott Morgan. Doug Arizia, sorry, Santa Paula, and Brendan Stallnaker from right here in Bakersfield. So Brandon's transmission also is sponsored here for the season with ANRA. Brandon at the wheel, that's Stallnaker. Doug Arizia, he's won the March meet, he's won points championships with the VRA and ANRA over the years. Wow, between the Camaro and the Nova. They'll run up to the top end. And the wind line goes on a double breakout to Arizia, a 8:59.8 to an 8:59.5, and yep, it's 33/10,000ths of a second, and Doug takes the win. Jim Stewart over in the Automobile Club lane. And Randy Armstrong with the lovely Patty Armstrong backing him up and putting him in the beam. He's brother-in-law to Casey Truer back here. I think it's got something to do with the girl. Wow, another great side-by-side race. Little Chevy, big Chevy, and it's the 57 Chevy Bel Air of Randy Armstrong taking a win. And even with a bad knee, Patty is so excited she's down there celebrating. The Armstrong team is just overwhelmed. Patty, it's the cookie thing. You make me cookies, you win. Yeah, huh? You believe that lie? We have a bridge for you, too. So Keith Moravich is gone, and Ray Pageant is gone. Frank Miranda, whoa, that's A gas. I'm looking at, what am I looking at? B gas. Let me look at his B gas deal here. Brian Rogers is right there. That's Tim Scott and Casey Truer. Brian Rogers, I do believe, is gone. Randy's in. Tim Scott, he's right there. Casey Truer, he's right there. And, man, this deal's wide open into B-gas class. Truer, Santa Maria, King Oil Tools. Tim Scott, Porterville, over there in the Chevy 2 Nova. Anyone to the lanes. Anyone, the House of Mouse. Any1 class to the lanes, please. That was a brain fade on the part of Casey Truer, and I don't think he's in anymore. No, Scott, Truer runs the number, but a 9:75 reaction time just took him right out of it as he runs the 860 number, but for some reason sleeping on the tree doesn't leave. Scott's got a 13 light and runs 70, takes the win. Oops, it happens. All right, Roger Holder. We're running with NMCA on 27, 28 October here at the Automobile Club, Famoso Racer. True 10.5 tire class, and at NMCA, they run the quarter mile. So this is a 200-mile-an-hour door-slamming car with a great big old motor and I think a couple of stages of nitrous on it. All righty, so Roger Holder, Holder's Air Conditioning and Heating here in Bakersfield. If it's hot at your house and you want it cold, call Holders. And if it's cold at your house and you want it warm, call Holders. And yeah, like in second gear, he haces the hides. Roger says, nah, not this time. So we go to the A-Gas cars, Keith Moravich and Terry Newton. Terry Newton, again, is our 2011 reigning points champion. Gas and forget that still photography is done by ANRAimages.com. Go to ANRAimages.com. Check out what you want and order your photos online. And that's Victor and Jeff Archer doing ANRAimages.com for still photography. Moravich, Newton goes red, gives it up to Moravich. Moravich runs a 6.4, but Newton folds at the starting line and passes that wind light over to Keith Moravich. Big block Chevy's a pair. Top end. Rafi gets the win. 765. Lockton breaks out with a 57. Hot rods. We need hot rods to the lanes first. Hot rods to the lanes first. And then juniors back to the Grove. The order of call is hot rods and then junior dragsters. Hot rods to the lanes and juniors to the grove. Al White, fastest naturally aspirated GTO in the world, until somebody comes up and shows us another one. Al White, a road king, just like TV Tommy Ivo is. He'll be our grand marshal next weekend at the 21st annual Hot Rod Reunion. The Fryolator, yeah, the Fry Racing Bunch over there. Browner Reich Petroleum, Lucas Oil, the sponsors on. 2011 57 Chevy of Brendan Fry. Fry Racing, Brother Austin doing the tuning, Danny Dad bringing him into the lights. Chevy to the top end, wind light goes, Al White. A 767.5 off an 18 light for the win. Brendan, a 53 light to a 765.3. Margin of victory for Al White, 0-1-3-1 over Brendan Fry. Ray Padgett gets the single. Santa Paula, the Chevy Corvette. 632 on the Budweiser lane. Hustling it up the Bud lane, top end. Ray Padgett, 763.3. And these guys are pretty serious about what they're doing, huh? Mr. Hall in the Kenwood Corvette, who is the A-Gas champion with the NHRA Heritage Series. Light, 892.7, and it's not quite running the number at the moment. Wow. One of the three House of Mouse cars is going to be gone because Eiley Stafford and Tim Brown are running in the first pair. Tim Brown over here in the Budweiser lane, Eiley Stafford in the Automobile Club lane. Everybody's from Lakewood, because that's where Joel Grusin and the House of Mouse is, but I do believe Eiley is from Chino Hills and Tim Brown lives at the lake, Big Bear. So Eiley Stafford in the Strange Brew. She'll do some dry hops out there. Tim Brown, he'll just pull it in the lights as the head mouse, Joel Grusin, brings him into the stage beam. So one of the House of Mouse cars is going to get eliminated by one of the other House of Mouse cars. We have an indication as who that might be, but we'll see. Yeah, Eileen Stafford. 71 beats a 64. 19 light beats by practically a tenth of a second. A 114 light. And Eileen moves on to round next of NE1. Next House of Mouse car, Dave Cruisin' Grusin. Lakewood, the California Performance Transmissions. 23-4T. And our local guy, George Johns, A-plus cabinets. George out of Bakersfield driving the 48 Topolino. And that's George's burnout. That's Dave with the finger pointing and the thumb going down the track. I don't know if Brant Racing's still out there, and I'm not sure if Clay Smith Cams is out there. I've been so busy today, I didn't get around mentioning them on the manufacturer's midway. They got parts and stuff, clothes, drag strip diva. Go by and check them out if they're still there. So, George Johns, Tower Side in the Topo. He qualified better than Dave did. But that was a long time ago. Call at the quarter mile. Winner is Dave Cruisin' Grusin. Junior Dragsters to the Grove. Junior Dragsters to the Grove. So the 2011 champion moves on. George Johns is 78. Yeah, 68 for Grusin. That was a pretty easy deal. Grusin to the next round. Robert Overholser. He'll be driving a funny car next weekend. And Jason Barta, who drives the Batmobile, driving the S&S Fabrications, Barta and Coburn. NE1 car down here at the Budweiser lane. Yep, Robert's driven about everything and finally worked his way up to a Nostalgia Nitro funny car. Jason Barta, if given the opportunity, would do the same. Stepped up from his gasser and hot rod cars all the way up to his beautiful NE1 car. 572 cubic inches of Chevy, 461 cubic inches for Overholser. And that big block Chevy, tuned by the infamous Roger Coburn while he was still with us. To me, but we'll see on the top end. Yeah, a 62 gets beat by a 68. You know by now why. 47 light for Robert Overholser and Jason Barta, a 209 light. So Jason is a goner, and Robert Overholser is in and going on. you know, Bob Arana, Hot Rod Bob Arana, that is to you, he lost a Chevy key. It's to his 50 coupe, right? It's the race car. Anybody find out? Where do you think you dropped? Starting line pits? Could be anywhere. Did anybody got it? Is it old and copper wearing through and that kind of stuff? I mean, brass wearing through? Oh. Okay, so there's one of those old deals, because Bob and I are old and we remember when you could do that with it. Had a coupler to put keys on either end, and it's all brassed up, and it's GM looking key, Chevy looking key. So looks like anyway, Bob Arana, that is the original key to his race car, and he'd prefer not leaving Famoso without it. So if you came across a key, it's got one of the old connector keychain deals on it where you can put keys on, you know, add a keychain, that kind of deal. Please bring it up here to the tower or look for Hot Rod Bob's 50 Chevy in the pits. You can't miss it. To the lane. Oh, points leader goes down to Don Torres on a red light. Hans Jacobs, 6,000 too quick. And Don Torres goes out the back end at 764.8.